For Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. Gaza's media office says more than 100 aid workers have been killed in 8 separate strikes in the last week by Israeli forces. Funerals were held for 28 people killed in separate strikes today. Heavy fighting continues raging around Gaza's largest hospital and surrounding neighborhoods for a second day of the Israeli military's raid on Al-Shifa. Israel says it's killed 90 Hamas militants. Hamas denies that and says among those killed were Al-Shifa patients. More than 100 Palestinians were also arrested by Israeli forces. Thousands of Palestinian patients and displaced people are trapped inside Al-Shifa. The World Health Organization says it's documented 410 attacks on hospitals in Gaza since Israel began its war on October 7th after Hamas attacked southern Israel. The agency also reports many children in Gaza are on the brink of death due to acute hunger, and newborns are dying due to low birth weight from lack of food and aid as Israeli forces continue to block hundreds of aid trucks outside the Rafah border crossing. Rami Al-Magari files this report from Middle Gaza.
Here at the UNRWA-run Maghazi Prep School for Girls, Hiba Abu Awad, along with her husband, Sobhi, and her 2 daughters under the age of 6, has lived at the prep school over the past couple of months. She says that her main concern is that her daughters get proper nutrition. She told Pacifica that her daughters suffer from frequent stomach and kidney aches.
Actually, I don't know what to say. One of my daughters has lost weight.
Dr. Iyad Abu Mu'aylaq is head of pediatric department with the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital in Middle Gaza Strip.
We are observing now a lot of cases of malnutrition. Why? Because the kids lack of the very important and essential micronutrient and a protein component of our food.
Like the case I saw,
Yes.
the girls that complain of symptoms into their kidneys.
Yeah. Kidney disease starting by protein deficiency, ending, unfortunately, sometimes by death.
For Pacifica Radio, I am Rami Al-Magari in Gaza.
Human Rights Chief Volker Turk this week accused Israel of using starvation as a weapon of war, which he said may be a war crime. Meanwhile, Israeli officials are headed to the U.S. to meet with the Biden administration about a planned ground invasion into Rafah, which President Joe Biden has said is a red line. A letter signed by more than 100 Democrats warns the Biden administration's staunch support for Israel may cost him the election. The United Nations Weather Agency has issued a report on climate change that delivers a stark warning about record-smashing increases. The World Meteorological Organization says there's a high probability 2024 will be another record hot year, according to its State of the Global Climate report. Max Pringle has more.
Celeste Saulo is the World Meteorological Organization's Secretary General.
This annual report shows that the climate crisis is the defining challenge that humanity faces. It is imperative that our actions today are based on the welfare of future generations rather than short-term economic interests.
The latest WMO findings are especially stark when compiled in a single report. In 2023, over 90% of ocean waters experienced heat wave conditions at least once. Glaciers monitored since 1950 lost the most ice on record, and Antarctic sea ice retreated to its lowest level ever. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said the latest report is troubling.
Earth is issuing a distress call. The latest State of the Global Climate report shows a planet on the brink. Fossil fuel pollution is sending climate chaos off the charts.
Researchers did offer a glimmer of hope, however. The report said renewable energy generation capacity from wind, solar, and water power rose nearly 50% from 2022 to a total of 510 gigawatts. I'm Max Pringle.
A federal appeals court in Texas blocked the state from arresting and deporting people accused of being an undocumented immigrant within hours after the Supreme Court lifted its block of the law and allowed it to go into effect. An order by the Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals put the law on hold again. The Biden administration's Justice Department is challenging Governor Greg Abbott's law, arguing it oversteps the federal government's immigration authority. Critics like the ACLU and immigration rights advocates say the law will result in racial profiling. In the U.S., 5 states held primary elections as President Biden and former President Trump cement their party's nominations. Voters in Arizona, Florida, Kansas, Illinois, and Ohio went to the polls. Both Biden and Trump have already garnered enough delegates to be their party's respective presidential nominees. I'm Christina Onnested, reporting for Pacifica Radio.